Okay, let's dive right in, because something huge is happening in the world of Windows laptops. I mean, for years and years, it's basically been a two-horse race, right? Intel and AMD. But now, a brand new challenger is stepping into the ring, and they're promising to completely flip the script on everything we thought we knew about laptop performance and especially battery life. We are talking about a whole new generation of chips from Qualcomm. And look, this isn't just some small change. This could be a tidal wave. The CEO of ARM, Rene Haas, he made this absolutely jaw-dropping prediction that ARM-based chips, like these new Qualcomm Snapdragons, are going to capture half. That's 50% of the entire Windows PC market. And he thinks it'll happen within just 5 years. Qualcomm's own CEO even backed that up, saying some laptop makers think these chips could make up 60% of their sales in just 3 years. That's wild. So that is a massive, massive claim. And it brings us to the single most important question for anyone, really, who's even thinking about getting a new laptop. Beyond all the hype and the marketing, what's it really like to use one of these? Are these new chips actually the future? Or are they kind of a risky bet to make with your own money? Let's break it all down. All right, first up, let's talk about the raw numbers, because this is where all the excitement is coming from. On paper, at least, the Snapdragon X2 is promising a straight-up revolution in both speed and, this is the big one, efficiency. Okay, so what you're seeing here is pretty interesting. This is the single-core performance of the Snapdragon X2 Plus, which is one of the new chips. In these early benchmark tests, it's beating comparable chips from both Intel and AMD. That score, over 3,300, that is seriously impressive. It suggests that for a lot of your day-to-day stuff, these machines are going to feel incredibly snappy. But honestly, the real head-turner is the efficiency. Just look at this data for watching a 4K YouTube video. Now, this test was actually done on the last generation Snapdragon chip, but it perfectly shows the advantage that these new X2 chips are built on. The Snapdragon chip uses less than a third of the power of the Intel one for the exact same task. What that means in the real world is you could have laptops that last more than twice as long on a single charge. For things like streaming video, that's a game changer. Okay, so the performance and the battery life, they look fantastic on paper. But here it comes, the biggest catch. The giant asterisk next to all those promises, and that is software. See, it's not just about how fast the chip can run, it's about whether your favorite apps can even run well or at all. And that brings us to this really key term, emulation. See, for decades, almost all Windows programs were built for one type of architecture, called x86. That's what Intel and AMD use. To get them to run on this totally new ARM-based Snapdragon chip, the computer has to, it has to translate them in real time. It has to pretend to be an x86 computer. And this process, this is what we call emulation. So what you end up with are two kinds of apps. You've got your native apps, which are built from the ground up for ARM. They run incredibly fast, super efficiently. That's where you get those amazing benchmark scores. But then you have emulated apps. They have to go through that translation process, which could potentially make them slower and use more battery. And that right there is the heart of this whole debate. And this is such a crucial point that people are making online. As this Reddit user, Dragon670, points out, a lot of the early reviews are only showing off the native apps, to show the chip's best case performance. But the reality for most of us is that a ton of the programs we rely on every single day might not be native just yet. And this comment just illustrates that practical trade-off perfectly. For some people, like Conquer69 here, the risk that your most essential software won't work right, or that it'll be slow, that's just not worth the trade for better battery life. I mean, if that one critical program you need for work doesn't run smoothly, it's a total deal breaker. I absolutely love this analogy somebody came up with. Think of traditional x86 PCs like pickup trucks. They can haul anything, do pretty much any job you throw at them, even if they aren't the most fuel efficient. These new Snapdragon PCs, they're more like a Mazda Miata. They are sleek, they are incredibly efficient, and they are an absolute blast for what they're designed to do. But you probably wouldn't try to haul a ton of gravel from Home Depot in one. So let's move on to the third and final piece of this puzzle, because there's one more area where Qualcomm is betting really, really heavily. And that's this dedicated brain for artificial intelligence, built right into the chip itself. This is called an NPU, or a neural processing unit. You can just think of it as a special part of the chip that's designed to do one thing really, really well: run AI tasks. The Snapdragon X2 has this massively powerful NPU rated at 80 TOPS. TOPS stands for trillions of operations per second. It's basically just a measure of the raw AI horsepower under the hood. This is the hardware that's supposed to power all those next-gen AI features in Windows. But, and you're probably sensing a theme here, just like with the regular software, there's a bit of a gap between what the hardware can do and what's happening today. As this user points out, even super cutting-edge AI features and programs like Photoshop aren't fully using that special NPU yet. The hardware's here, but the software still needs to catch up to really unlock its true power. Okay, so we've seen incredible performance potential. We've seen a huge question mark hanging over software compatibility. And we've seen a powerful AI chip that's kind of just waiting for its big moment to shine. So, where does that leave us? What's the final verdict? Well, buying a Snapdragon X2 laptop right now is all about a trade-off. On one hand, you could get absolutely game-changing battery life and amazing speed on your web browser and any native apps. But on the other hand, there's some real uncertainty about how well all your old programs are going to run. You are paying a premium price for it, and those amazing AI features, they're still more of a future promise than a today reality. Which really leaves us with one final thought. The decision here isn't just about comparing benchmark scores. It's about your personal workflow and really your appetite for risk. It all boils down to this. Are you the kind of person who is willing to bet on a software world catching up in order to get that incredible efficiency and that next-gen performance right now? The answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know about whether a Snapdragon laptop is right for you.